Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to language lesson 147. We are going to begin with our oral language exercise. Simply repeat after me when you hear the sentence. She is much taller than I. He is as anxious as I to do well. I wish I were fishing at the lake. If I were she, I would go right now. Bob sneaked his present for Dad into the house. We brought 5 people with us. Will you lend me $1? The loan was for only $1. None of the girls are eligible. Every girl is eligible. Okay, very good. So today you are going to be taking quiz 20 on the last 2 parts of speech that were covered, conjunctions and interjection. Hopefully you're comfortable with that. You can pause the video and take it if you have not done so already. But we are going to continue basically just reviewing our parts of speech, but specifically we're going to look into prepositions and adverbs, whether or not you can identify them accurately. So here we have particular words that have been placed in orange font. You're going to identify whether or not the word that's orange is either a preposition or an adverb. Now, just a clue and a reminder, remember if it's a preposition, it must be accompanied by an object, okay? And an adverb generally modifies a verb. Okay, so John was exiled to the Isle of Patmos. In this case, of is a preposition, and the object would be Patmos. You're familiar with the next sentence? It says, at the cross, we can lay our burdens down. Again, you have the preposition at, and the object being cross. Now, there is an adverb in the sentence that some may confuse with a preposition, and that happens to be the word down. That ends the sentence. Don't confuse the two. Let's go ahead and continue practicing. We saw a large goose with 7 goslings walking behind her. Now in this case, is behind a preposition or is it an adverb? If you said adverb, you are correct. The next sentence says, the water in the swamp was deep, but we waded through. Again, in this case, the word through is not a preposition. There is no object, but it is an adverb. And finally, we drove down to Miami. Now be careful with this one because you have what seems to be 2 prepositions adjacent to each other. But remember, prepositions don't like that. So in this case, down would actually serve as an adverb, and the prepositional phrase would be to Miami because the preposition to has the object. All right? So hopefully you did well on that exercise. Now what we are going to do from here, I am going to ask you to transition to your workbook pages 226 and 227. These are exercises that you are familiar with. There is no new concept being introduced, so I'm just going to give you a general overview of what you're going to encounter shortly. On page 226 for Think A, you are simply going to write the first definition of the word provided. That's all you're going to do. So for number 1, coagulate, you would record the first definition that you come across. For Think B, you are going to write the pronunciation of the words. And you have done that, as I said earlier, before. So that should be quite simple. for think C, what you're going to do, you're going to notice that the words that have been given have more than one parts of speech. So you're going to identify the parts of speech. Once you have done so, you are going to create a sentence using either one of those parts of speech. So let's say, for instance, number 1 is plug, and you know it serves as a verb. You can create a sentence using the word plug in that context as a verb. And finally, if you direct your attention to page 227, you'll realize I already completed the top portion. You are only going to be doing think B. Again, this is an exercise that you've been familiar with. What you're going to do is underline your verbs twice and your subjects once. And then when you're finished, you'll notice there are only 4 short sentences. So when you're finished with that, you can practice your diagramming. Okay? I hope you do well on your quiz. Have a great day.